Hey parents, I wanted to talk about something that isn't necessarily the funnest topic to talk about, and it's anxiety. It's something I wish I didn't have to talk about so much because so many kids recently, over the last year or two, we find are coming in at a younger and younger age. It's not so much a teenage high school thing anymore. It's 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds in elementary school that struggle with worry, overwhelm, just emotional stress from the thought side of it, from the experience side of it. And I really wanted to break this down neurologically to help parents understand it. As a dad of 4 boys, it is so hard when your kiddo gets overwhelmed in a situation, doesn't want to go to school, dreads an event, struggles in a social situation. And these can be tough for parents because you go see, a doctor, a pediatrician, a specialist about it. And a lot of times what we're presented with first is medication, something that comes from more the outside in. And I know a lot of parents are looking for something more natural, more holistic. And that's why I wanted to record this whiteboard and really talk through how the nervous system responds to that, because that's going to help us better find how we can fix that and how we can work with that naturally to help kids respond better. Well, first off, one thing that how the brain really works when it responds to different things is it's going to go into 2 different sides. And that's why I have this gas pedal, brake pedal written on the board. There's a sympathetic system and a parasympathetic system. When a kiddo is stuck in stress and they're responding to their environment in stress, they're in this sympathetic stress mode. The body is more alert. It's more hyperactive. It's more protective. It's going to be more cautious. The question parents always have for me is, how does the brain get stuck in that sympathetic stress mode? Well, the answer isn't an easy one because it's something you have to unpack, and you almost have to go back and look at we call it the thoughts, traumas, toxins, the different stressors that have come over the years that cause their body to respond in more sympathetic, fight or flight, worry, anxious, busy brain side of it. Now, when we unpack that as pediatric chiropractors, it often comes from that birth process, from that delivery, from any childhood accidents, from stress, from emotional, from immune, from all these different things that happen along the developmental side of it. What we find so often with kiddos that struggle with more anxious thoughts is they probably had a more difficult birth, whether it be C-section, whether it be vacuum, whether it be forceps, whether it be length of the actual delivery process. They struggled with more struggles there, and then it started to build on that. They maybe struggled with reflux, colic, some immune challenges, ear infections. And then when they got in those school age years, maybe it was more, a little bit of behavior. Maybe it was a little bit of social stress, hard to get involved. All those things, when that nervous system has stress in it from every avenue, whether it be physical, chemical, or emotional, if it gets stuck on that sympathetic side, long-term, the body's going to get more worried, more hyper-focused, more attentive to the problems that are out there in the world. It's just not as easy going. So when we see kiddos that come in that are 7, 8, 9 and struggling with massive amounts of anxiety and worry, it often stems back to that sympathetic nervous system being way too stuck. Now, the contrast to this is our parasympathetic system, the brake pedal. That's what helps our body sleep better, digest better. It helps with focus and attention and all those calm emotions. The thing that most commonly happens with kids, especially with anxiety, is you notice how, a lot of times the tummy hurts with it. A lot of times they can't sleep. A lot of times, emotional regulation is way off. In addition to that worry, that's very common because these 2 sides of the nervous system work in contrast or in balance to each other. You can't be on one side or the other. The way our brain is designed to respond, it's designed to upregulate in the sympathetics when it needs to. It's meant to downregulate in the parasympathetics when it needs to calm, when it needs to sleep, when it needs to do those relaxing things. Well, nowadays, kiddos are way too stuck on that sympathetic side. When they get stuck on that sympathetic side, then what happens in the brain is all the signaling that comes from the body doesn't even make it to those easy places in the brain that help with those higher level thoughts, those easy, happy thoughts, the things like the frontal lobe that really control comfort, ease, relaxation, social interaction. The signals don't even get there. They get stopped in the middle part of the brain called the limbic system, which really is that stress response system. And so getting stuck on that sympathetic system simply doesn't allow the brain to really have those relaxing moments. That's why you see that big contrast with kiddos that struggle with anxiety or worry, where they're all stuck on that gas pedal and they struggle with sleep, they struggle with gut issues, they struggle with calm emotions. So if this is something that you found your kiddos struggle with, one of the things that we do as pediatric chiropractors is we want to test this. We want to see where they're at. How much is their nervous system stuck on that sympathetics? If they are really stuck, that's a great sign, because it means we can help them with that anxiety, with that worry, with those different things. And that's the root cause of why they're struggling with all of that anxiety. So the keys here for this is help the brain to find balance, help it get to that parasympathetic system when it needs it, help it be on that sympathetic system when it needs to play sports, when it's taken a test, when it's, in a new situation, but it can't get stuck there. Because when it gets stuck there, that's where kids struggle with long-term anxiety, anxiousness, and worry. If this sounds like something your child's dealing with, we would love to help. We know everyone's kiddo's a little bit unique. I have 4 boys, as I said, and each one is a little bit different. And so we know that takes some nuance where we can talk you through it and really help you get to the bottom of it, get to the root cause of really how we can help to balance the nervous system, to help them with those crazy symptoms, especially with back to school coming up. So if you need anything, shoot us a message, DM us. We would love to chat more, set up a consultation, and talk more through this gas brake pedal balance so that less kids can really have to struggle with anxiousness, worry, and overwhelm that's just become so common today.